So good morning. I wanted to hop right in here and thank you for sharing your favorite desserts with us. I was really excited to hear that we had so many first timers. Hope that you're going to have a really fantastic first time Innovate Her KC experience. I will say that this is going to be a little different, but all of you first timers are in for a treat because today we are actually going to talk a little bit about Innovate Her KC, who we are. Well, we're going to talk a lot about Innovate Her KC. And that is not the standard for like our connection and networking events, but this is our community update. And we're going to be sharing a bit about who we are, what we do, what we're planning on doing, and how you can get involved. And so we're going to go ahead and hop right into it. A little bit later, just so you know, we are going to have a lightning design thinking style brainstorming session because we want to hear your input on the best way that we can help women leaders. You're just all brilliant, and we want to hear what you have to say. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So give me just a minute. Hey, look at that. It was right there. It popped right up. That's amazing. Love it when technology works. And we're going to go ahead and get going. So first things first, we did have, when we were, marketing tickets for this, we did have a donation ticket available. And I just really quickly wanted to acknowledge some really awesome supporters who came through with a donation ticket. We have David Nickel, Jennifer Hack, Mary Ricketts, unsurprisingly, she's amazing, Johnny Tucker, Christina Hager, Tracy Passantino, Rochelle Valero, and Katasha Graham. Really quick, I want to note Carolyn Hammond is one of our biggest supporters, and her donation hit the triple digits. So if you were feeling competitive, that's the number to be. That's the level to be right now. But thank you so much to all of you, and in particular, Caroline, you all make this possible. What is this? That is a really great question. So that's what we're going to talk about today. This is what our day will look, well, not our whole day. I'm not taking your whole day. This is what our morning will look like. We had a little bit of networking. We're going to do, this is our welcome, such as it is. Welcome. And then we'll go right into kind of talking about Innovate Her KC. We'll talk about ways that you can help. We'll do our design thinking session, but this is what it is going to look like. Now, I am going to try to do something. I'm going to share a link over in the chat, and hopefully you will be able to use this to kind of play along with what we're doing here. Throughout this discussion, we'll be talking about a lot of stuff, and I understand that that is a little bit overwhelming. And you're probably going to remember like 20% of it, and that's totally okay, because we're about to share that link that I just shared over in the chat. If you want to access that, that has some helpful links that you can revisit later, including our impact report, which we'll talk about. It's going to have some links to some of the initiatives, some of the ways that you can engage with us, and things like that. So hopefully that will be helpful, and you won't feel too much pressure as I start to give you just a giant information dump. So here goes. First things first, I want to acknowledge the incredible Innovate Her KC leadership team. And this is the team that they are my sounding boards. They are my tactical helpmeets and helpmates. And they are all just really incredible people. If you go to our website, you can actually connect with them on LinkedIn. You can find their information on the About Us page. But these are the people who make Innovate Her KC happen. Another amazing team. You've already met Miss Mary Ricketts, who she is just unforgettable and incredible. But this is our amazing board of directors. And the same deal applies. If you head to our website, the About Us page, you can connect with all of these individuals on LinkedIn. But they are incredible strategists, brilliant minds, business leaders in their own right. And I am just extremely proud of the leadership team and the board of directors team that we have put into place as we look to grow Innovate Her KC. So I just wanted to take a moment, Round of applause for our leadership team. You are all absolutely incredible. You make my heart sing. So thank you for that. A couple of our board members wanted to give a little welcome to you themselves. And so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to watch a very brief little video.
Hi, I'm Brenda Lowe. I retired from Sprint after 2 decades in public affairs, but I have rewired for total service because civic engagement is vital. And I'm proud to be a member of the Gladstone Planning Commission, the Capital Improvement Committee, as well as the Citizens Strategic Planning Task Force. I am so honored to serve on the IHKC Board of Directors. It is an opportunity to be part of a diverse community of women leaders who are planting seeds of hope and harvesting greatness. The pillars of IHKC perfectly align with my belief that when women lead with purpose and passion, the possibilities are infinite. So women and allies, this is our time to forge ideas, recognize our strength, lift each other up, and transform the world.
Hi, my name is Sarah Shipley, and I'm the CEO of Shipley Communications. I'm proud to serve on the board of InnovateHER KC. I do anything from finance to governance and a little bit of marketing, and I love this organization. In fact,
Oh, that is me trying to turn up the volume. I apologize.
Well as the Citizens Strategic Planning Directors, leaders, greatness.
Whew.
With my belief. So women, ideas, recognize our strength, and transform the world.
Transform the world.
hi, my name is Sarah Shipley, and I'm the CEO of Shipley Communications. I'm proud to serve on the board of InnovateHER KC. I do anything from finance to governance and a little bit of marketing, and I love this organization. In fact, we have a chance not only to break that glass ceiling, but smash that glass ceiling with a very powerful network of women. I love to mentor, I love to volunteer, and I love to see women CEOs.
Hey, hello, everyone. I'm Mary Ricketts, the president and CEO of Turning Point Training and Development and Wealth on Purpose. And I am so excited to be a part of InnovateHER KC and serve on the board. To your success.
So I apologize for the technical difficulty in there. I was trying to adjust the volume, so please forgive me. So I just wanted to kind of position this meeting a little bit. We recently completed our 2020 impact report. And so look at that cover, isn't it pretty? You're actually about to learn something about me. And I have to tell you that I am not a designer by any stretch, and I apologize in advance for what you're about to see. But you can access the impact report using the links on the helpful link page that I provided to you. There are some fun pictures of InnovateHER KC events in there, and a lot of the information that we're going to talk about today. So just wanted to throw that out there, let you know that you can take a look at kind of what we're doing and what we've been up to. So who is InnovateHER KC? And when I was putting this slide together, I was like, I could read the mission and I could read the vision and I could do all of that. But the fact of the matter is, InnovateHER KC, I have it down to a boilerplate. I think any entrepreneur, you have to come up with your pitch, right? And so here is our elevator speech, kind of boilerplate, 1 minute InnovateHER KC in a nutshell. So InnovateHER KC is a 3,800 plus member women's leadership community serving the Kansas City area. Our members fall under the verticals of entrepreneurship, civic engagement, corporate leadership, education, the artist and creative community. Our members are community advocates. So we cover a lot of verticals, industries, and sectors. The one thing that all of our members have in common is we are all committed to enacting what we call radical positive change in our community. Everything that we do in InnovateHER KC, we do with a lens to inclusion, not just diversity, but inclusion and belonging. That is a core tenet of who we are, and every decision that we make is based in that fact. We also prioritize, and this is actually one of my favorite foundational pillars, but we prioritize low barrier to entry. We want to make it as easy as we possibly can for as many women as we possibly can to access the services, resources, support that we provide. We approach our work, we have what we call our 6 pillars of action. So every program, every initiative, everything that we do, we do through the lens of these 6 pillars. And the 6 pillars are social connection, professional development, we have championship, mentorship, amplification of work, and resource sharing. And so when we dive a little bit more into our programs and initiatives, you will see that we have attached every single one to one of our pillars, sometimes multiple. We love it when that happens. We love it when a plan comes together. So I know that this is going to be a little difficult to see, but I do want to talk about it a little bit. I want to talk a little bit more about who our members are. I think it's really important for us to note that 42% of InnovateHER KC members identify as intersectional. If you do not know what intersectionality is, it is an acknowledgement that sometimes people have layered marginalized identities that add to their experiences. And so if you are a Black woman, you have an intersectional identity. And so 42% of our members, that is not a majority, which is a little bit of a bummer for me, but we're going to get there. We want to serve as many diverse women as we possibly can because we feel that that's kind of one of our differentiators. A lot of our members identify as entrepreneurs. And if any of you ever want to have a coffee, I'm happy to tell you about how InnovateHER KC started. But our roots kind of began in the entrepreneurial community, which is where I come from. So a lot of our members to this day are entrepreneurs. We sit at about 39% of our members identify as entrepreneurs. Next up, we have nonprofit leaders. We have a lot of nonprofit leaders living within our ranks at about 16%. Community advocates, we consider these activists and organizers, people who work for a cause. And we have about 11% of our members identify as a community advocate of some kind. That layered thing that I was talking about, a lot of our nonprofit leaders also consider themselves to be community advocates. You see how that works? So we have a pretty decent community of artists, makers, and creatives, which we will talk about just a little bit later. Lots of educators, corporate leaders, students. Again, one of the really fantastic things about InnovateHER KC is how broad-based we are. And that is, it's a blessing and it's a gift because we see women who come from all walks of life able to offer all different kinds of perspectives, give each other feedback and guidance. And it's really incredible to watch. One of the things that people often ask me is, how many members do you have? And I kind of keep an eye on it. I can generally give you a gist of where we're at. That is not actually the most important trackable metric to me. And again, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But over the course of 2020, we started the year with 1,735 members in our virtual community, and we ended it with 3,278 as of December 31st. Weirdly enough, and I've been kind of thrilled to see this, and thanks in part to some of our board members, Mary Ricketts, you're amazing, and some of our other members, we are actually now sitting at 3,814 last I checked, which is ridiculous because it's not even a month from December 31st. So the reason that I find that important, the reason that I think the community should find that number important is not because of that data point, that number. It's because what that represents is the fact that women are sharing and inviting. We don't really actively recruit very often. And so women are inviting their friends and they're inviting their family to join this community. And to me, that's an indication that they find value in it. And so that makes me really, really happy. Another thing that I think is super, super cool, some of you may not be aware of this, but in virtual communities, the gold standard of member engagement hovers right around the 50% mark. And we, InnovateHER KC, over the course of 2020, we enjoyed a 95% community member engagement rate. That means that our members are participating in our community. They don't just belong to it, but they are seeing, interacting with, and enjoying our content. You know, the what we provide, and that is super exciting. That's actually the more important metric than the number of members we have. The number that I care about is how happy are the members that we have, and when you participate, that's an indication to me that you're happy. So InnovateHER KC has a lot of programs and initiatives, and here's the thing. One of there are blessings and curses to being a small organization. So one of the, you know, with the curses, it's like, you don't have enough team, you don't have enough time, you don't have enough resources. And we deal with all of that. But one of the blessings of having a small organization is the fact that we can be pretty nimble and we can be experimental. Like we just try things. We're like, yeah, here's an idea, let's give it a shot. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't, well, failure is a part of the adulting, growing up business process. And that's something that we've kind of accepted. So I would say that our InnovateHER KC virtual community currently lives on Facebook. That is the hub of our programming. It is our crown jewel. It is where I spend most of my time and attention, because that is where our 3,800 members live, and that is where they interact with each other, offer each other guidance. We share resources, we share ideas. It's just really, it's incredible to watch. I can tell you that as someone who came from male-dominated industries, but has also worked with a lot of women, I have never been in an environment where I have seen women who are so uplifting to each other and supportive of each other. And it really, it's really interesting, because the thing that I am most proud of about InnovateHER KC is the thing that I have the least to do with. And it is that the members who populate our virtual community. So one of our pillars is social connection. I'm not going to go through all of these. You can certainly find them in our impact report, but I'll kind of hit some of the highlights. Social connection is big for us. Every month we have a free, currently virtual, they have been in person in the past, monthly meetup. We have happy hours or coffees. We alternate months. It is the first Tuesday of every month. You can find our events on our Facebook page, on our website, as long as I have updated it. And you can find them, you can come and just have some really fun connection with other members. IHKC Content Club, often we don't have time to read books, so we pick a piece of content like a podcast or a magazine or something like that, and we come together and talk about it. We have social events like sip and shops. Katie Mabry Van Dieren, who is on our leadership team, she is planning a Galentine's Day event. We had a Galentine's Day event last year, but really we just want our members to have the opportunity to connect with each other socially with no agenda, and just enjoy each other. As far as professional development is concerned, our two kind of important pieces of programming are what we call Girls Guide to Business, which are hour-and-a-half long interactive workshop style of events around a topic. We've done goal setting, we have done strategic planning, we've done marketing, but we like to bring our members together with a subject matter expert from the community around topics that we think are important to you or that we've heard are important to you. InnovateHER KC office hours once a month, one Friday a month. We will ask a subject matter expert to offer 15-minute one-on-one consultations with our members. And we've done them on many, many topics. You'll see a little bit about that later. As far as championship, we have a couple of things that we rock. We do nom bombs anytime a community award comes up or an industry award comes up. We bring our members together and we just start nominating each other. So because we want to have as many women put out in front and achieving and getting the recognition that they deserve as possible. Amplification of work is actually my favorite pillar, because I think that women are often hesitant to toot their own horns, and we love to toot your horns for you. If you give us the opportunity, we will 100% do that. So one of the most significant partnerships that we saw this year was the Startup Hustle podcast. I am one of the co-hosts. My episodes drop on Thursdays, and more often than not, I am telling the story of a woman leader, entrepreneur, or influencer from the Kansas City area. A lot of times there are members. They're just people that I love and respect, and I get to tell their stories. It is a blessing. Startup Hustle podcast averages about 75,000 downloads a month and is listened to in 190 countries. So it's a really fantastic platform to tell women leader stories. InnovateHER Create, that you can find on our website. And this is one of our experiments. We're going to see how it goes. We have done a soft launch of a virtual gallery environment for our creative members. So we have artworks from artists like Anita Easterwood, Vanya Soto. We've got Larissa Uretti, who's on our leadership team. But women who are creating art, we are talking to other community partners, working to get some pieces of performance in there. I think we've got a couple of poems, but finding ways to highlight and promote our members and their artistic endeavors, particularly now since gallery attendance is down, show attendance is down, all of that good stuff. Sunday spotlights, we just spend a lot of time highlighting our members' achievements and who they are, introducing them to the community through our social media, where we have a decently deep reach, I would say. As far as resource sharing, InnovateHER KC at PlexPod, co-working took a little bit of a hit, but PlexPod has been an incredible partner to us. And I know that they take, they take extreme sanitary measures. They take safety very seriously, but we actually have a space at PlexPod Westport Commons. And that space, for $50 a month, you can access the co-working environment. There are meeting rooms, there's a mother's room, and it's just a really, really fantastic opportunity for our members to come together and work together. We have what we call the Kansas City Diverse Speaker Directory. We are trying to make it easy for chambers of commerce and organizations that have a lot of speaking opportunities to find diverse speakers. Right now, I believe only women are on it, but we have never said that it's only women. That's just who happens to apply, but it is free to add your name. It takes about 5 minutes. And our hope is that by providing this list to organizations around town, that we will start to see some new and diverse thought being introduced to panels and keynotes and events. The Women-Owned Business Directory is just a list of businesses who are either majority woman-owned or have leadership teams that are comprised of majority women leadership, because we want to recognize and promote those as well. So I have to see how I'm doing on time. Ooh, not too bad. So in 2020, we accomplished a lot. We accomplished a lot with very little. And we work very hard to serve our members and make sure that we are giving them opportunity, access to information, guidance, support, all of those beautiful things that women leaders need in order to succeed. We had 9 InnovateHER KC office hour sessions on topics like business strategy, alternative capital, nonprofit management. We did have one on startup funding, which was huge right around the start of coronavirus. We would like to thank the incredible experts who served for us. Mary Ricketts, man, you're just all over this thing. Megan Crook, Katie Lord, Nicole Bentz, Melissa Eggleston, Erin Folk, Thayla Cherry, Sheila Seck, and Sarah Shipley have all served as experts and did one-on-one informational sessions with our members, and we're very grateful to them. We had 4 Girls Guide to Business sessions on strategic planning, innovative thought, marketing strategy, and goal setting. We'd like to thank Allison Berry, Mary Ricketts again. Thank you, Mary. You're amazing. And Veracity Consulting for providing thought leadership to our members and helping us bring them highly interactive content that could help them. We had 5 impact events, what we call it. So impact events are different from our social events. They tend to be more civic or informational in nature, where our social events are all about that, connection piece. But we had 2 notary drives, actually, where we helped to register voters who had requested mail-in ballots. We have a pretty decent number of notaries within the IHKC community, which I did not know until we started this process. We had a voting through COVID lunch and learn with Alicia Kennedy. That was a nonpartisan event to explain the voting process through COVID. That was a online and very, very cool. Tribe was actually one of my favorite events of the year. A local filmmaker and innovator named Megan Vopel directed a documentary about tribalism along the Troost Corridor. And so we played the documentary, and then we had a moderated discussion and Ask Me Anything with Megan afterwards, led by Nicole Jacobs Sylvie. And then we had one of our Netflix IHKC content clubs was Netflix's She Did That, which is the story. If you haven't seen it, it's really great. It's the story of 5 Black female entrepreneurs and their journey as they, try to attain success. And I mean, it's just a really incredible story. So we had 5 social events. We had a celebration of RBG's life. We had a big old trivia night that was way fun. We had a movie night. We had a Galentine's Day brunch. We celebrated the election of our first female vice president, which, by the way, let's just take a moment to acknowledge how awesome that is. We have our first female Black Asian VP. Incredible. So we had a happy hour to celebrate it just because we wanted to. We have partnered with some really incredible organizations over the course of 2020, the Greater Kansas City Chamber of Commerce, the Kansas City Business Journal, Fullscale.io, who's been a huge fan and friend to us, Cherry Co., just some really amazing organizations that have stepped up and worked with us to help us provide programming and options for our members. In 2021, we're expecting a lot. So I mentioned the Startup Hustle podcast, and that is a really, really fantastic opportunity for us to amplify the work of our members. But next we have coming up Startup Hustle TV, which is an online web series about the stories of entrepreneurship. And I expect that we will be highlighting InnovateHER KC members there as well. That actually launches February 1st. If you'd like more information, you can go to startuphustle.xyz. And it's going to be really fun. I've seen the previews of some of the first episodes, and there are a couple of instances where I make a little bit of a fool of myself, but it's going to be fun and funny and great. In 2021, we are going to be launching paid memberships. Now, low barrier to entry is a huge priority for me. How do we make it as easy as possible for women to access what we offer? So we're going to keep those very low cost. I think right now we have 2 plans that we're working on. One is $10 a month, one is $20 a month. We'll be offering additive services. We will not be taking away services to our members who enjoy our free plans. I have made a promise to our members that certain aspects of InnovateHER KC will always be free. Our virtual community, our happy hours and coffees. We will always offer free programming as we can, because we never want money to be a reason for a woman to not be able to access what she needs to thrive. InnovateHER KC paid memberships are going to include some really fun programs that we're bringing down the pike. So the Connect Her Women's Directory. So for those of you who don't belong to the InnovateHER KC online community, one of these struggles that we have is we're kind of at the mercy of the Facebook algorithm. So we get asked the same kinds of questions very often. I'm looking for an attorney. I'm looking for a bank. I'm looking for someone to help me with my marketing. And so we see these questions time and time again. And the answer to those questions always kind of relies on who sees the post, who they're thinking of right at that very moment, and if they feel like responding. And so we wanted to create a comprehensive database that would have member profiles with titles and industries where people could find what they were looking for. The other really cool aspect of this is that the directory is also going to have available for opportunities. So we often have members come in and say like, hey, I'm looking for board members for my nonprofit, or I'm interested in running for office. Where do I get started? And so now we can, an InnovateHER member will fill out her profile and she'll be able to raise her hand and say, hey, yeah, I'm interested in this type of opportunity. If you have one, reach out to me, and they'll be able to do that. So we're really, really excited about this women's directory. We're also looking at the InnovateHER KC mentorship program. You may, if you were paying attention, for the folks playing at home, when we talked about our different pillars, you'll note that I did not mention mentorship as one of the aligned program offerings that we currently have. And so that is something that we wanted to work on. In the group, we periodically post like, hey, are you looking for a mentor? Are you looking to be a mentee? Raise your hand. But it's not a formalized program so much as an opportunity. So we are creating a mentorship program where we're able to connect our potential mentors with potential proteges through the InnovateHER database. And then we will be offering quarterly mentor mingle events where we bring them all together, because mentorship is a lot about chemistry. So we don't want to get too prescriptive. We want to allow people the opportunity to meet mentors that they think might work, but y'all got to get along for the relationship to be mutually beneficial. So that's the hope. We're introducing the Woman Card. I am super excited about this. I think right now we have about 30 businesses that have offered discounts or perks to cardholders. It's for innovators by innovators. So all of these businesses are women-owned, women-led. Most belong to our community. And we're just hoping to give women the support that we've targeted kind of those questions that our members ask most frequently. We have targeted businesses that speak to that. So if we hear about, I need a lawyer, well, hey, look, we've got three lawyers on the Woman Card in the Woman Card Perks program. So we're trying to make those line up. We're looking to introduce corporate mingles. This was a really interesting concept to me, and this is, again, highly experimental. We'll see how it goes. But we do have an opportunity here in that a lot of large organizations have internal leadership development programs for women. And so we wanted to see if we could bring together some of these larger organizations and just introduce them in an industry agnostic kind of way, in happy hours, introduce them to InnovateHER KC, and just create another connection point in the women's leadership ecosystem. Something that we are extremely excited about, and something that Mary Ricketts, God bless her soul, is working on. We're working on the Innovator Awards, which is a not pay to play, but merit-based award program to recognize the amazing work of our members. So we'll be offering awards. We're hoping to have an event of some kind. We actually just had a board meeting where we were kind of debating on the virtual versus in-person component. And so TBD, I don't think really anybody knows what's going on at this point. So we're going to have to figure it out. But we are just hoping to acknowledge the incredible work that our members do. And finally, the InnovateHER KC Advisory Board, what's that? The answer is I don't really know, but we have had some very important people to us on our journey reach out to us and express interest in serving on an advisory board. And I'm one of those people that I know a little bit about a lot, but I'm not really an expert in anything. So I like to surround myself with people much, much smarter than me to advise. And so we are exploring the possibility of introducing an InnovateHER KC advisory board in 2021. Speaking of those people who help us get to where we need to go, I would be extremely remiss if I did not take a moment to thank InnovateHER KC sponsors. In 2020, we were sponsored by PlexPod, KC Auction Company, Fuel KC, which is an incredible organization if you haven't checked them out yet, and Green Boat Coaching. And we thank them. Like you make it possible for us to do our job. So thank you, thank you, thank you. How can you help? This is a loaded question for me. We have members come to me all the time and they say, how can I help? And my answer, InnovateHER KC is here to serve you. You are not here to serve us. But that being said, if we are to help more women, increase our impact and scale, we cannot do this alone. I think in one of the things that when I started sending out invites to this event, one of the things that I said is that it takes a village. We did not get here alone, and we are certainly not going to move further. And I can't really remember the saying, but it's, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. We truly believe that. We love to partner with other organizations. We love to promote what other people are doing. And so there are a lot of ways that you can help Innovate Her KC. First and foremost, I love meeting people. If you want to have a coffee, if you want to talk more about the origins of Innovate Her KC, which I'm happy to do, please don't hesitate to reach out. We are a community building organization, and one of the really important pieces of that is that I have to talk to the community on a regular basis and figure out what's going on. So I actually mean it when I say reach out. I would love to talk to you. Engage with us. You can subscribe to our newsletter. Pretty sure I provided a link to do that. That's where we share events, we share podcast episodes, we share news in the community. We do not spam. We do not sell your information. We use our powers for good, not evil, I promise. But we do give some really good information around Innovate Her KC and women leadership. You can follow us on social media, and that period where a comma should be is going to drive me crazy. But follow us on social media. One of the ways that we amplify the work of our members and champion our members to the community is by sharing through our social. So the stronger social we have, the better we do our job. If you could help us do our job better, that would be amazing. Listen to the Startup Hustle podcast and watch Startup Hustle TV. I'm pretty sure I put some links in there to that as well. And first of all, it's fun. I have a lot of fun doing it. Every time I talk to these incredible women leaders, I walk away learning something. We usually have a lot of fun. And so it's really, really engaging, but I would just highly, highly recommend that you take some time to familiarize yourself with the Startup Hustle podcast and Startup Hustle TV. If you have ideas for Innovate Her KC office hours, Girls Guide to Business, if you would like to serve as an expert, I want to hear from you, because one of my struggles is that programming piece. What do our members need to hear? Who can I connect with, and who would like to volunteer their time to help? So I'd love to hear your ideas. I'd love it for people to raise their hand and say, hey, yeah, I want to be an expert for Innovate Her KC office hours. Reach out to be an Innovate Her KC mentor. We haven't really kicked off the mentorship program yet, but we sure do need to have mentors in our back pockets when we're ready to do so. So if you feel like you would like to take on a protege, we would love to hear from you. Love it, love it, love it. Sign up for the speaker directory or the women-led business directory if you fall into the parameters. We love to see we want these databases to be really valuable. So for instance, if somebody comes to me and says, hey, Lauren, I want to talk to a woman, or I want to have a woman who knows about nonprofit management and youth issues to come and speak to my business. I want somebody to be able to go into this searchable indexed database, put in those search parameters, and find 5 or 6 names. We're not there yet. We do have a lot of really fantastic names on the list, but the more people, the more individuals that we have on the list, the better, because it makes the data more valuable. So please, please join. If you'd like to be in a Sunday spotlight and you are a woman leader, we would absolutely love to talk to you about that. Support is hugely important to us. So I'm going to be very transparent with you here and tell you that of the things that we do at Innovate Her KC, there are things that I am very good at, and there are things that I am not that great at. And one of those things is that sustainability piece. Our board has been working hard. We've been working to come up with strategies to kind of figure out how we can get to that point where we can scale. And so we have a lot of different touch points and ways that you can support us. And I'm asking you to do that now. You know, like I said, we had some folks come in with some donations. That was amazing. You can get an IHKC PlexPod membership. We have some really cool merch, some merchandise. We have a bunch of t-shirts. We have we have a face mask. We have a hat. I'm pretty sure we've got a hoodie and a baseball tee. I can even show you. InnovateHER KC. If you would like to buy a t-shirt, that goes to support our work as well. You can make a donation via our website. And then here's the big one, and I'm pretty sure that I put a link in the helpful links thing. One of the things that we're looking to do is we're looking to partner with organizations, community organizations, corporations. You know, one of the really great things about InnovateHER KC is we have, you know, pretty good digital footprint. We have a highly engaged community of women that we work with. And so we'd like to work with partners that we can help, you know, amplify your brand while helping InnovateHER KC as well. So if you are interested in talking about that and what we might be able to offer, please let us know. As far as service, we are always interested in talking to InnovateHER KC's future leaders. And that includes our leadership team, that includes advisory boards, that includes, you know, committees. As we look to grow, we are going to depend on very smart people. And so if you would like to raise your hand and say, hey, I want to help, I want to offer my thought leadership, I want to offer my assistance, I want to roll up my sleeves and get to work, we really want to hear from you. So now I am going to stop sharing my screen momentarily. Well, actually, yeah, I am. And then we're going to open it up for some questions. And I would love to hear your thoughts. I know that was a lot of information in a very short period of, not even really that short a period of time, but if you could just, you know, ask any questions that you have, I'll take a look at the chat and we'll go from there. Okay. Sorry, I'm reviewing the notes right now because I am not good at reading and talking at the same time. Does anybody have any questions? Can we get a membership for someone else and pay it forward? Darn it, Sarah, you're a wonderful board member and that's a great idea. And the answer to that question is, I don't know, hadn't really thought of that, but I'm sure that we could figure it out. That is a beautiful idea. When did you say the paid memberships are going to be available? So actually, I was remiss and I did not talk about one of our partners. We have a promotional partnership with Prime Digital Academy. They are the ones who are building the Connect Her database tool. And so my answer to that question is whenever they are done building it. And so we just had a report out. We're needing to do a technical handoff here over the course of the next couple of weeks. I hesitate to set a hard expectation at this point because there are a lot of moving parts. So I will say within the next couple of months. Is that good enough? I don't want to overpromise and then underdeliver. I did just go ahead. Oh, and it looks like some people were helping me out by sharing the links. Thank you. Let's see. Carolyn, we would love to have you be a mentor or do an office hour session. That would be amazing. Oh, so we have Kristen Thomas on the call, who as of right now had the #1 most listened to podcast on the Startup Hustle podcast in 2020. And she's excited for Startup Hustle TV. Me too. Okay. Anybody else? Just keep them coming. Keep them coming. I actually have to check my agenda because neither do I know what time it is or do I know where we're at. When you talk about inclusion, how is InnovateHER including persons with disabilities? So that's a really great question. And my answer to you would be not enough. I do know that we have some differently abled members within our community, and whenever we try to whenever we message our community, we do try to use inclusive language and make sure that we are accepting. We've had some conversations within our virtual community about ableism, but I would say probably not enough. Oh, and so Julie, if you have some thoughts on that matter, please definitely let us know, and we would certainly love to hear from you. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to read really quickly. Explain the difference between the Innovate Her group and the Innovate Her page on social media. Thank you, Katina. You are brilliant. Katina is one of our moderators, and she is absolutely fantastic. I would like to take a moment to explain something that is very important if you are to join Innovate Her KC, or if you are already a member. We have two entities on Facebook. We have a private Facebook community that is our virtual community where our 3,800 plus members live. And then we have a public Facebook page where we do our community marketing and share our events. And that is our outwardly facing Facebook page. What happens, and this happens all the time, there is no judgment here. Like, do not feel bad, do not feel embarrassed. But people post, Innovate Her members post on our public Facebook page all the time. And I always kind of have to clean up out it. That's fine. You are more than welcome to do that. But if you are posting to our Facebook page, you're not going to see as many responses as you would in the virtual community. In the virtual community, somebody will post something and within minutes, there are like 30 responses, and because we're so highly engaged. So just know that there are two separate entities. You can follow us on Facebook, you can join the community, you can post either place, it doesn't matter. But if you really want to benefit from the community, you're going to post there. Oh, Jessica's like loving this shirt. Oh, the badass woman doing kick-ass things shirt. That is actually one of my favorites as well. Jennifer, I wish that shirt was available in black. Well, you have been heard, Jennifer, and that could probably be arranged. We could probably figure that out for you if you wanted. Okay. All right. Hey, I'm going to make a note of that really quick. Does anybody else have any other questions? You're also more than welcome to like talk. It's okay. I've been talking a lot. Y'all can talk. Sorry, I just wrote a note, badass black, and hopefully I'm going to know what that means when I come back to it, like tomorrow. I am on the membership page and getting a 404 arrow. All right. Thank you for that. Not really anything I can fix right now, unfortunately, but I will do it. So also, as I'm not a designer, I am also not a website developer administrator. And so, we do what we can with what we have. I will get that figured out. Lauren, can you tell about you? Ooh, or us? Lauren, Carlissa, what did you mean by that? You can talk. There you are. I see your smiling face.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You've referenced a couple of times if we want to schedule a coffee and get together with you and hear about how Innovate Her got started.
Yeah.
Which I have a note to myself to do. But can you tell us here about you? We keep hearing about everybody else, but can you just give us a brief overview of yourself?
Sure. I first and foremost, I'm super awkward and I don't really like talking about myself very much. But which is why I like to talk about all of you because you're awesome. So my name is Lauren Conaway. I don't think I did this. My name is Lauren Conaway. I am founder and CEO of InnovateHER KC. How about that? I'm originally from St. Louis. I came up through most of my career in male-dominated industries, aerospace, IT, and automotive. For the most part, my experiences were very good. And I also had some very, very bad experiences that made me feel very lonely. And so a lot of Innovate Her KC, the reasoning behind it and my understanding comes from a place of never wanting another woman to have to experience that feeling of loneliness that I experienced. That is where my personal drive comes from. As far as I have a deep love of the entrepreneurial community, and I've been involved in it for years. I was director of operations for Startland for 2.5 years, which is where Innovate Her KC was born. And I could not have done what we're doing now without my experience there, because it gave me a whole new view of community. I don't know. I really like trivia. I'm a trivia dork. Oh, I have what would some would consider a weird pet. I have a possum that I am rehabbing. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not particularly interesting, but I do have a deep, deep love of women leaders. When is the next Innovate Her KC Trivia Night? Katie, you rock. I love that question. I'm such a trivia nerd. And that was such a fun night. Like, I don't know if those of you who went could like raise your hand and talk about how awesome IHKC Trivia Night was, but it was awesome. We had a great time. But I don't know when the next one is. We will figure out a time though. Don't you worry. Like, that's gonna happen. Okay. As someone who just graduated from college, what is the best way to get involved? That is a lovely, wonderful question. And I cannot tell you how much we love to see young students and young people join Innovate Her KC. It gives us a huge thrill. And so the easiest way to get involved, and this goes for any female, sorry, mailman's here. This goes for any female identifying or non-binary femme woman in the Kansas City area who is committed to enacting radical positive change. Join the Facebook group. There is a bit.ly link on the helpful links page that you can use to join. If you are not on Facebook, and I know that some of you are not, definitely subscribe to the newsletter. We would love to see you at our virtual happy hours and coffees. They always have a really fantastic vibe. We have a great time and great conversations. That is not the possum barking. That is my loud puppy. I think the mailman's gone though, so we're good. Thank you, Angela. Thank you. That was a little embarrassing. What also happens is, for whatever reason, Harley Davidsons like to congregate in front of my house when I'm on Zoom calls, and it's like they're having a convention. It's awesome. So that hasn't happened yet. Also, 2 categories I thought of during this call: connecting younger members with more established members to walk them through that part of the journey. I love that. You know what we're about to do? It is 10:02. It's 10:02, and we are about to come to my favorite part of today, because I've talked a lot, and now I want to hear from you. So we're going to do something experimental. You're going to come on a journey with us, but I'm looking at like about a quarter of you right now. How many of you have heard of design thinking? Raise your hand. Okay, so design thinking is a problem-solving methodology that focuses on placing the user first. So when we talk about innovation, Einstein, I'm going to paraphrase very badly here, but Einstein once said, if you gave me an hour to think about to solve a problem, I would spend 59 minutes thinking about the problem and 1 minute coming up with the solution. So design thinking, you ideate, you think about the problem, you ideate, you work through prototyping and refining, and it's just a process. But you spend a lot of time on the problem portion before you start thinking of solutions. Well, we don't have a lot of time today. We've got about 20 minutes to do this, and we're going to see how this goes. I believe in all of you. But what we're going to do, I'm going to share my screen again. I think I'm going to share my screen again. And I'm going to show you kind of what we are talking about. That's not what I meant to share. There it is. Okay. So we're going to go into our breakout rooms, and I'm going to randomly assign you. So you will most likely be talking to some people that you don't know. You're going to take 5 minutes to brainstorm on issues women leaders in Kansas City experience. Some of the examples to get you started: lack of funding, wage inequity, disproportionate unemployment due to the pandemic, because I think a lot of studies have shown that women lost their jobs and became underemployed at much higher rates, in particular due to virtual schooling. So you're going to think about 5 minutes, or take 5 minutes to think about the issues that women experience. And then I want you to take 5 minutes to brainstorm on potential solutions to problems you have identified. One of the ways that I do this, I don't know what you have around you right now, but one of my favorite things to do when I'm brainstorming is I take a Post-it notepad. You guys can't even see that. Those are Post-it notes. And I just write an idea, and I write a thought, and I toss it to the side, and I just do it as fast as you possibly can. Right now, there are no such things as bad ideas. Reach for the stars, and we will, if we can't do it, we'll see if we can figure something out. And then you're going to take 10 minutes to share with your team and discuss which solutions that you came up with that you like most. Now, one of the cool things about this exercise is you're going to find that there's a lot of commonality in the solutions that you come up with your team members. And so those are probably the ones you're going to want to focus on, unless somebody just comes up with like this crazy idea that you want to stroll down. So I'm about to send you into your breakout room. I would suggest that you identify a note taker, because I would actually like for somebody to send me the ideas and the thoughts that you kind of came up with. Because I really mean it. Like, I really want to look at these, and we really want to see if there's anything that we can implement here at InnovateHER KC. Okay, so I think everybody should be back now. So this is a little bit, this portion of today is going to be a little bit more interactive, and I will call on people. I have no shame. So first things first, how do we feel about design thinking and ideating with other awesome women and all of that fun stuff? Like, do we feel like we had a good, productive, very fast time? Okay, good. I'm seeing some nodding heads. So now my question, I'm going to put the onus. Oh, and I have a thumbs up. I love it when people use the Zoom tools. That makes me really happy, because I always forget that they're there. So thank you, Megan, for that. And Kristen, there you go. So just we've got 3 minutes, and we're not going to have time to go through and have everybody report out, and I wasn't going to do that to y'all anyway. But does anybody want to share some really awesome ideas that came out of their breakouts?
I liked the Angela in our group, Stuart, brought up the challenges with COVID, and that's something, I don't have any children, and so but I loved the discussion around how a lot of mothers are having to kind of bring on that burden of the sacrifice of, well, the kids are at home, so I guess I'm going to have to sacrifice my career or my time dedicated to the job, or sacrifice that scheduling. And so I'm glad that was brought up in our group.
Yeah. Well, and I think there's a statistic out there that 70% of families rely on the female parental unit to offer increased childcare and schooling, and that's not really cool. But and I see a lot of thank yous. I see a lot of loved that exercise. That's awesome. Does anybody else have any like ideas that they want to share? Pop out there. Big ideas.
Chandra
Well,
does.
So, oh, wait.
I didn't know who else was talking.
Okay, so Mary just put me on the spot. So I think that just being aware, our group really talked about the self-care and the balance piece during this time. COVID kind of threw us, and we already had to do that as women, just try to figure out what our place was and how to balance spiritually, mentally, physically, all of that. And then throw COVID on it, and kind of like, I believe Kimberly is the one that was talking about, her group talked about like the COVID concerns, and just what does that look like for us? So and then we also had the conversations of dealing with the new ideals with technology and the new platforms where if we're working from home or even working with the community, what does that look like? And why do we have to research 10,000 new innovative ideas? Like, how can we make this a little bit more streamlined for everybody? So one of our ideas was maybe just creating support groups in those different areas where people can just really come in, like Mary said. One person can say, yeah, I have gout today. How do I help me fix this gout? Just different things that we could possibly be dealing with and going through. So it's really, where can I go and just be me and be truthful? I have this expectation for work. I got to dress up for these Zooms, but really, what do I don't want to. Like today, I just don't want to. I don't want to me today. So just giving us that free space to say, I don't feel like me in today. But I just want to just kind of release all that in a safe space. Did I cover everything, Miss Mary? Okay.
Yeah, thumbs up. Angela, did you have something that you wanted to throw out there?
Yeah. Oh, I was just going to kind of talk a little bit about ours. So I think overall, if I had to identify it, I would call the problem we identified would just be kind of like, as Kimberly said, was just the stress of being a caregiver that, has to some degree potentially resulted in ending a career because, somebody had to, and some way, somehow, not that dads and husbands don't participate, because they certainly do, but more often than not, to your point, it tends to fall in our direction. And so we did identify, the challenge, if you will, and then we sort of just start to talk about what were some options. So we were talking about it would be nice to help people find resources, so we could potentially find a way to help people, put together routines that help us transition from, if we're working from home, help us transition from work to home, and an example I gave was not every night, but I'm working at my dining room table. So I try to pack it all up. I've got a little TV tray over there and just put it away till the next morning. If I don't do it, during the week, I definitely do on the weekend. I want the table to be clean and I want to kind of just put that away. I think so often we are prideful to not ask for help from other women or anyone. And so I think just encouraging people to say it's okay to ask for help. So to, help moms help each other. Don't be afraid to ask, not because, you're weaker that you're failing, but because you're actually doing yourself a favor, you're doing your kids a favor, you're doing your community a favor by getting a break. And then we talked about ideas of what some of those breaks might look like, if it's something, as simple as stopping and breathing for 30 seconds, trying to squeeze in a workout, different ways to, basically help with the transition, or to take breaks when we get really, really stressful. And just that we also talked about our companies haven't done a really good job of providing those resources. We may offer, verbally, like, how are you doing? But we're not really providing those. So it would be nice if employers did more of that. The one person was Megan, was it you that said the library? She works at the public library. They actually do have some videos and some resources. So I don't know if those are some things they've purchased or if those are things that they could share. But we think that, we could probably do a better job of supporting each other. So if you're not reaching out, maybe reach out to somebody else and offer your help.
Yeah. So really quickly, I'm going to interject here. It is 10:33. And one of my big pet peeves is letting people go late. So I do apologize for that 3-minute discrepancy. I'm going to take it just a pause for the cause. If anybody needs to hop off, go to their next thing. We've all got jobs. We've all got lives. Totally understand. If you'd like to stick around, I would love the opportunity to chat with you about, what your breakout groups came up with. I'd like to talk to you more about InnovateHER KC, but just natural pause. Mwah, love you. Thank you so much for joining us. It is an honor to work for an organization that serves you. And if anybody wants to stick around, happy to chat.